Danny Avocado for pole, innit? Danny Avocado for pole. Let's go. Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is qualifying ahead of a highly anticipated 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix. What are we saying, guys? Welcome to the stream. Welcoming Gav, Ernesto, SHT. It is time for qualifying in Hungary. Looking like a really competitive session that we're about to have. If practice is anything to go by, we might have 7 cars in contention for pole position. Hamilton quickest a couple of hours ago in final practice from Verstappen and Perez. Hulkenberg up there in 4th. We've got a different tyre scenario going on. Danny Ricciardo in the intro. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo is back in Formula One, so buzzing. See what he can do in the AlphaTauri. We're not expecting anything mad from Danny Ricciardo in the worst car, jumping in mid-season, but it's great to have him back. And yeah, welcoming, guys. Ricciardo, he's back, mate. I am buzzing, SHT. See what he can do, innit? If he gets, listen, if Ricciardo gets that Q1, that's a dub, mate. It's a win. If Ricciardo gets through to Q2, if he beats Tsunoda, it's dream team, mate. If he beats Tsunoda, he's in dreamland. But yeah, you've got to face the fact that he is in the slowest car. Sorry, the layout's a bit weird because this track is like, I can't really, this was the best layout I could do, so I'll just be in the corner over here. But yeah, with Ricciardo jumping into the worst car mid-season, we can't expect too much. But yeah, buzzing to have him back, man. The sports missed Daniel Ricciardo, hasn't it? Could be interesting. Do you know what, Chris? I'm actually low-key hype for this quali. I come on the last couple of races and I was a bit like, you know, a bit dead. But I'm actually buzzing for this one. It feels like we might be led astray. I might be led astray, but it feels like it's really competitive. I feel like Mercedes are right up there with a chance. I feel like this McLaren pace that we saw in Silverstone is genuine, which I'm so glad about. It looks like McLaren have genuinely taken a big step forward, and it's not just a Silverstone one-off. But yeah, Norris for pole. Norris for pole, anyone? Norris for pole? I think Norris could legit get on the second row. Pole might be a bit of a long shot, but yeah, Norris looking strong in the McLaren. Interesting to see where Ferrari end up. This was supposed to be a strong track for Ferrari, or so the simulation data was saying. Also, you got Aston Martin there in a bit of no man's land at the moment, but Alonso is historically good round this circuit, so I would expect Alonso to pull something out of the bag when push comes to shove. So, you know, it's a competitive one. I think to predict the top 10 is really difficult, which is good. You know, you don't want to say, all right, it's Red Bull, then it's McLaren, then it's Ferrari. No, this could be anything. It genuinely could. The top 10 could be anything you want. Anything you want. And if Daniel Ricciardo's there, then it's dreamland. But yeah, it could be an interesting quality, Chris. Yeah, also Hungarian Grand Prix. Locked in. Yeah, so get a Hungarian Grand Prix. I quite like this circuit, to be honest. I think it is. I think it's a decent circuit. I think we tend to get good races, especially obviously when we're a bit of rain. You know, we've had some absolute bangers Hungarian Grand Prix over the years that I've watched anyway in the last 17, 18 years or so. We had some great Hungarian Grand Prix. 2021 was a banger. with Ocon winning, you know, I don't remember much from last year. I think, in fact, last year was Russell and Leclerc battling for the win, wasn't it? So even last year, it was a good Hungarian Grand Prix. So I rate this circuit. Buzzing that they've extended the contract, so Hungarian Grand Prix for another decade. I back it. Perez needs a good qualifying. Yeah, pressure big time on Sergio Perez. Obviously, Ricardo coming back into the Red Bull family, giving him a kick up the arse. But he stuck it in the wall, didn't he? After 2 laps in FP1, Sergio Perez was in the wall. So, yeah, big day, and big second half of the season for Sergio Perez in his career, to be honest with you. He'll probably keep the seat for 24, but it's up for grabs 25, mate. But what are we saying? Also, prediction, where do you think Perez will qualify? Interesting one, that. Interesting one. I'll say he gets through to Q3. You know what I'm saying? I reckon a P5, P6. I think Perez will put together a sensible qualifying session. Will he slap it? He'll slap it on pole? No. But will he be down in 16th? I mean, entertainment value would be quite funny. But I feel like he'll put together a sensible qualifying P5, Sergio Perez. But we'll see. 2021 was Bottas going 10-pin bowling. You love to see it though, innit? We need a bit of drama. When was the last time? That was probably the last time we had a turn 1 incident. You know what I mean? So, yeah. You know, we need someone else to do a bit of 10-pin bowling because this season needs a bit of 10-pin bowling injected into it, I feel like. But it looks like it's going to be a dry weekend from now on. FP1 was wet and sort of not a lot of running FP1, but this morning was decent running. And now we're getting to quali. Nice sunny weekend ahead. So what we're saying, Hamilton loves this track. Yeah, 8 wins. 8 Grand Prix wins for Lewis Hamilton. I think if he wins a 9th, it'll become a record for the most wins by one driver at one circuit, which is a bit complicated to say. But basically, Hamilton's a beast round here and has been for the last 2 decades. So expect Lewis to do well. This is his most successful circuit, on a par with the British Grand Prix. I think British Grand Prix has won 8, Hungarian Grand Prix 8. I think he's won a fair few at Canada as well. But yeah, this is Lewis. This is one of Lewis's strongest circuits. Add that to the fact Mercedes are coming here with good form, and Lewis just went quickest in final practice. I think Lewis has got a shot, genuinely, this weekend. And Lewis hasn't won a race for, what, more than 18 months? What, Brazil 21? Like 20 months or something like that, you know. Time for Lewis to get on that top step again, you know what I mean? Yeah, Saudi Arabia 21. Did that come after Brazil? Or did he not win Brazil? I don't know. But yeah, Saudi Arabia 21. So you're talking a year and a half. So that's probably the biggest drought of his career. That is probably, I've not thought of that, but that's probably the biggest winning drought of Lewis Hamilton's career is right now. Because you think about when he first started, he won by round 7. Then he was winning, then obviously 09. Yeah, this is the big, oh no, hang on. 12, he won a race in 13. Biggest drought. Yeah, Russell won Brazil, but the year before that. Lewis v Max front row. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Mate. I'll be honest with you. I would take that right now. Right, anyway, qualifying's underway. 8, if you don't know how it works, but it's a little bit different this time round. They're trying a new tyre scenario where it's hard tyres in Q1, medium tyres for Q2, and soft tyres for Q3. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know who that benefits, other than the fact that they can save a couple of sets of tyres over the weekend and all that. But yeah, I'm not sure about this new sort of tyre format where you've got to use the hard tyres in Q1, got to use the medium tyres in Q2, got to use the soft tyres in Q3. It is what it is. We'll see how it pans out. I feel like it aids the top teams because you haven't got the pressure of a back marker putting on a soft tyre in like Q1 and upsetting the apple cart. You haven't got that. So I kind of feel like it favours the big teams, which is not necessarily a good thing, I feel like. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Daniel Ricciardo onto a flying lap. First flying lap. But yeah, big ups. I'm glad Daniel Ricciardo's back. I'm glad Daniel Ricciardo's back. 21 Lewis won in Brazil, but did Saudi Arabia come after Brazil in 21? Did it go? I feel like Brazil was second to last round, which means that was his last win. Surely, was it not? Yeah. Oh, did it go Brazil, Saudi Arabia? Was Saudi Arabia the second to last round? Did it go Brazil, Saudi, Abu Dhabi? Oh, Brazil, Qatar. Oh, right, okay. Oh, fair dues. Hulkenberg, green, first two sectors then. So at the moment, we have got Bottas P1. Hopefully the sat-nav stuff, well, sat-nav. The live data is working and everything. The layout's a bit different because I usually have it where my webcam's at the top, the track's at the bottom, but I can't really do that because the track is like a weird shape, so it takes up more of the screen. So I have to change the layout a little bit, but hopefully it looks all right anyway. You can see who's where and etc. And hopefully the live timing works. But yeah, Bottas off to a banger. And you know what? Bottas and Zhou, I swear both of them were in like the top 5 in FP3. So that's a weird one, if you ask me. Because as far as I understand it, Alfa Romeo is pretty much the slowest car, but maybe they fancy turning it up a little bit. It is a different circuit, obviously. But yeah, Russell, Hamilton go 3rd and 4th for Mercedes. Bottas still out front. Let's go. Valtteri Bottas for pole position. What are we saying? 1,000 to 1 down the bookies. No, dropped. Oh, yeah, dropped off at the end. Yeah, when I checked in about 10 minutes ago. I was like, Bottas and Zhou were like 2nd and 3rd, and I was like, yo, what? I was like, what's going on here? That's because you look like feeling down last time. How are you? Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good now. Yeah, the British Grand Prix was a low point. We can't get any lower than that, so we're all right now, Gav. Sometimes you gotta have a bit of a moan, but no more moaning. We're just buzzing now. We're just happy with what we've got, and what will be in it, Gav. What will be. And we just got to roll with it. Albon goes P8 in the Williams. So it's still Bottas out front on an 18-8. Verstappen less than a 10th behind. Then the two Mercs, Piastri P5, Perez P6. Obviously early days in Q1. And we're going to be looking at the bottom 5 in another 10 minutes or so to see who's going to get knocked out. But yeah, Bottas looking quick, mate. The mullet helping Bottas. Yeah, Bottas gone like full Australian. Bottas is like virtually Australian at this point. But yeah. Well, I was when I looked at that stream back, Gav, I was like, oh my god, right? Like I'm just sat there moaning, going, "This is dead." Like, nah, it wasn't the vibe. Well, back to myself now. You know what I mean? Back to myself. Stroll goes 11th in the Aston Martin. Bottas for pole, anyone? Alonso goes P5 in the Aston Martin. It'd be interesting to see where they end up. You know, they've dropped off the last few races. Alonso was Verstappen's biggest challenger at the start of the year. Last 3 or 4 rounds, they've dropped right off. And it'd be interesting to see around the Hungaroring whether Alonso can pull the rabbit out of the hat and actually be competitive here. I feel like he should be, but I don't know if Aston Martin have lost out development-wise, you know? Ferrari have bought big upgrades. McLaren, are McLaren quicker than Aston now? I would say there's a big argument for that. You know, McLaren bringing big upgrades at the Austrian Grand Prix. You know, obviously Mercedes bringing big upgrades. I feel like Aston Martin have started to lose out a little bit in the development race, having started off so strong. But hopefully Alonso can pull it out of the bag. Big surprise, Danny Rick to make Q3. I mean, I don't think there's much chance of that. I mean, listen, I will be cheering from here to Hungary. If Daniel Ricciardo qualifies top 10, mate, it's unbelievable. I think you're more likely Ricciardo will be knocked out of Q1 because he's in the worst car jumping in mid-season. It's not easy for Ricciardo. But listen, if he gets into the top 10, I back it. But I find it unlikely. My shock will be McLaren fighting for pole. Is that a shock? I don't know. Like McLaren on the front row again, back-to-back weekends. Is that a shock though? Ferrari being bang average. Is that a shock? I don't know, mate. I don't really know what's a shock. Verstappen goes quickest by a tenth. 1:18.6 for Verstappen. Here comes Albon, then round the final corner to the line. Go on, Alex, P8. I tell you something, yeah. Alexander Albon is quickly becoming my favourite driver. In fact, I think Alexander Albon is my favourite driver, you know. I sat here with a Kevin Magnussen t-shirt on, but I think Alexander Albon, mate, I fully back him. And Alexander Albon should be sat in an Aston Martin or a Ferrari within the next 18 months. And if he's not, it's an injustice. I feel like Alex is massively underrated and he's probably one of the quickest guys out there. And got promoted a little bit too quick, a little bit too much pressure too early. And he'll come good, will Alex. As Daniel Ricciardo goes P7 in the AlphaTauri. Let's go! Let's go, SHT. Danny Avocado. Danny Avocado. Hey, listen, if Daniel Ricciardo gets through Q1, if he gets into Q2, mate, it's a big dub for Danny Rick. And I mean, if he out-qualifies Tsunoda, mate, that's massive. You don't realise how massive that is. If Ricciardo out-qualifies Tsunoda today, massive. 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 You don't even realise. Just to jump in out of nowhere, having 8 months off, anything better than P20 is a win for Danny Avocado, mate. Yes, Wade. Watch where Tsunoda is. This is it, mate. Ricciardo 8th, Tsunoda 4th. AlphaTauri with the upgrades this race. Maybe the AlphaTauri isn't the slowest car out there. Maybe the Alpine's the slowest out there. I mean, to be honest, for all this season lacks in terms of a championship fight, yeah, the midfield battle's incredible. Like, which is the slowest car? At any given weekend, the slowest car could be a Haas, an AlphaTauri, an Alfa Romeo, McLaren with the slowest car at one or two of the races in the first half dozen. Mate, there is no back of the grid. You've got like a top 3 or 4, and then you've got everybody else. Every cloud, you know what I mean? Verstappen might be 99 points ahead in the championship, but listen, behind him, they're scrapping for every position. And I back it. Pierre Gasly, purple, sector 1. Let's go. Yes, Flabby G, welcome in. Ferrari, what did I say? What did I say? I don't even know what I said about Ferrari. Ferrari for pole. I didn't say that. I know I didn't say that. Oh, what you mean Albon to Ferrari? Albon to Ferrari 2025. What are you saying, SHT? Albon to Ferrari 2025. Science ain't hit, bruv. Gasly P2 in the Alpine. This is anybody's. Albon Ferrari 2025. You know that thing. No, I feel like, no, on a serious one, yeah, the Ferrari one's a bit of a wild shot, yeah. I feel like that second Aston Martin seat should be up for grabs. Regardless of the relationship between boss and son and all that. We know all that. It should be up for grabs. Albon to Aston? Question mark? Let's go. Anyway, 4.5 minutes to go. Verstappen, Gasly, Bottas, top three. I'll take that right now. Let's have that for the grid. In fact, someone beat Verstappen. And then we really have got a good grid. Ferrari for pole and winning is for Narnia world these days. Yeah, mate. Ferrari pole is not crazy. Ferrari pole is not crazy. But Ferrari win? Yeah, that's Narnia land. Because they always find a way to mess it up. Either the driver makes an error, the team make a strategy error, the engine blows up. God only knows what other scenarios there are. But a safety car at the wrong time, it never really works out for Ferrari, does it? I feel like Ferrari could turn up with a dominant car and still get beat in a season. Zhou's gone quickest in the Alfa Romeo. Right. Who had Yesaways? Right. Who had Zhou for pole? All right. Who had Zhou Guan Yu for pole in Hungary? Yeah, slap bang nobody. Not even his own mother had Zhou Guan Yu for pole. Not even his own family would back Zhou Guan Yu for pole position, would they? Let's be honest. It would be a madness. A madness. Yes, Anto. No one knows who has a slice car. Exactly, Anto. That's it, innit? And that's a good thing from this season. In previous years, we've had like, oh, you know, the Williams is 19th and 20th and that's it. Or the Haas is 19th and 20th and that's it. But anyway, 2.5 minutes to go. There is no slowest car in 2023. Is that a good thing? We know who's got the quickest car, don't we? But we don't know who's got the slowest car. Every cloud. Sainz crosses the line, goes P4. So P4 and 5 for Ferrari at the moment. So Zhou Guan Yu leads the way. This is a madness. We've got Zhou, Norris, Perez, top three. Okay, but someone's lap time's been... who's been deleted there? Has Norris had a lap deleted? Yeah, Norris has had a lap deleted. Brev. And, hey, do you know what's mad yet? A McLaren in the fight for pole here. On a reel. Like, no cap. A McLaren fighting for pole. Because I have a cheeky suspicion that they've got half a chance. They've got half a chance, you know. And I remember saying it at the British Grand Prix, because I was on negative mode. I was like, nah, it'd just be a one-off, flash in the pan. It's a one-off, this McLaren pace. Mate, they've come here. They're looking quick, you know. Yeah, Norris has had his lap time deleted, but I expect both McLarens to be inside the top 8 at least. At least, maybe both inside the top 6. This format is delivering to start off. You might be right there. It's looking good, isn't it? Look at them all queuing up now at the end of the lap. I hate this. I hate this. They need to stop this horrendously slow queuing up. Yeah, Bottas is this ain't it, bruv. This thing where they're all queuing up to get space to start the lap is gonna be. There's gonna be one day there'll be a big incident and the whole thing will be banned, and they'll have a minimum lap time and all that, because that's gonna cause serious problems. Well, it already does, you know, but it's going to take a big crash for them to ban this going 20 mile an hour at the end of the lap to get space to start your flying lap. Trust me, it'll be outruled. But for it to be outruled, they're going to have to be something bad happen, which shouldn't be the case. Albon goes P12. Zhou's still quickest. Listen, I don't know how they're going to be in Q2 on the mediums, but the Alfa Romeo on the hard tyres, I mean, everyone's on a level playing field. I kind of like this, you know. I kind of like this. Everyone's on a level playing field. So Zhou Guan Yu, low-key, best driver on the grid, isn't it? Why is Zhou still P1? This is blowing my mind. This format is good, mate. Honestly. I back this format. Hulkenberg into 8th. Here comes Lewis across the line then, who's down in 19th. Goes P7, okay. Norris goes 10th. Zhou's lap time is holding up here. Why is Zhou so quick in the Alfa Romeo? Russell's done for, mate. George Russell's out. Tsunoda's out. Ricciardo might get through here. Well, we don't know yet. Tsunoda's out. Mate, if Tsunoda... I think Ricciardo's outqualified Tsunoda regardless. Ricciardo's outqualified Tsunoda regardless. He might get knocked out anyway, but I think both Williams are out. Tsunoda's out. Russell out in 18th. Ridiculous. Is Ricciardo through? Is Ricciardo definitely through? I think Ricciardo's through. What's Sargent and Albon doing? I think Ricciardo's through. Ricciardo, on a big return, out-qualifies Yuki Tsunoda, and he's through to Q2. Big dubs. Zhou Guanyu then 18-1. Why is Zhou Guanyu a second quicker than George Russell? George is complaining of traffic. That might explain it a little bit, but big L for George Russell. Will start the Hungarian Grand Prix from P. He was battling for the win this time last year. George Russell and Charles Leclerc were dicing for the win. In fact, it was one of the best races of last season, Hungary last year. Leclerc and Russell, I remember some dive bombs around the outside and stuff like that into turn 1. He was dicing for the win. Not this year, mate. Russell, P18 on the grid for the 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix. Danny Avocado, on his return, he's through. Beat Tsunoda, it's over. This is what Mercedes needed. I know, mate, it's not great, is it? Where's Aston Martin's pace? McLaren ended up 6th and 10th. I'm just having a little bit of a debrief with myself here. Zhou quickest by nearly 2/10 is insane and is just nuts. Red Bull 2 and 3, Ferrari 4 and 5, then Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso, Hulkenberg top 10, fair enough. Norris, Gasly, Bottas. Why is Bottas 6.5 tenths slower than Zhou and 11 places below? What do you? It is a bit of a surprise. I would say it's quite a large surprise. Quite a sizable surprise. Listen, if Zhou gets like top 6, it's massive, isn't it? It's massive. I mean, we'll see how they do. That was everyone on the hard tyres. So I guess it's sort of like, I think I like this qualifying format. I feel like maybe some cars work better on different tyres. So maybe some cars are stronger on a medium tyre and they try and avoid the hard tyre. Or some cars are stronger on a hard tyre and they sort of avoid the medium over the weekend. But when that's not an option and it's like, right, Q1, you have to run the hard tyre, then teams who are not getting on with the hard tyre, who would have normally avoided that and gone, no, we'll run a medium because the hard, we don't like it, I've now got to run hard. So it's like level playing field. It might not be the worst thing to ever be introduced to F1 this, you know. And especially not for Mr. Zhou Guanyu. He's backing it on the hard tyre. He's loving it, mate. I don't know. Maybe the Alfa Romeo was always rapid on the hard tyre, but they didn't use it because they had to use the soft in Q1 to even have a chance to get through to Q2, so the hard tyre doesn't feature. Now it does, bang. In fact, no, on a real, this might not be the worst format ever, you know. Both Alfa Romeo making through and Russell going out. Who'd have said that? You're having a laugh. Is that how close it was? Is that how close it was? Albon out. Both Williams knocked out. But it was always going to be a tough weekend for Williams because Williams are quick in a straight line, not so good in the slow speed corners. So Hungary was always going to be difficult for Williams, but watch out next weekend at Spa-Francorchamps. Watch out next weekend at Spa-Francorchamps. Alexander Albon is going to pull a 2009 Force India on us. Watch it. And if you don't know what that reference is about 2009 Force India Belgium, Alexander Albon's about to drop it on you. Wait for it. This isn't Williams' circuit. They're waiting for next week. And Monza on the other side of the summer break, you know? You might see something a little bit special. Yeah, what are we saying? Yeah, I don't have to apologise, mate. It is what it is, mate. Join when you can. Drop a like on your way in, mate. But yeah, welcome in, Mitch. All good, mate. This is, I mean, you've joined this stream and it's Zhou Guan Yu top. Would you have bet on that? Would you have had a tenner on that? Nope. No, listen. This could be interesting, this, on a reel. This could genuinely be a shock grid. I mean, watch it end up Red Bull 1-2 for out. I mean, I'm hoping for a shock result here. And by shock, I'm not talking about Zhou on pole. Like, that's a bit too far. Like, pushing the envelope to a ridiculous. But if there's an Alpha, like, in the top 6, or a McLaren on the front row, I would back it. Or, I don't know. I just want to see. I feel like there's a chance to, well, it's just the start of the session, so it's just that Perez is the first out. The positions are not really relative at the moment because they're just sort of on outlaps and stuff at the beginning of Q2. And now it's the medium tyre session. Yeah, exactly. No, Perez, no, don't worry about the positions at the moment. This is just the beginning of the session, so it'll change every few seconds whilst they're on outlaps and stuff like that. So, yeah, beginning of Q2, Daniel Ricciardo is still in. Do you know what? I know this is quite a sort of a negative thing to say, but I would have said that Ricciardo was knocked out in Q1. Like, I know the hype is real. But I would have said Ricciardo ain't making it through. But the fact that Ricciardo's through, and especially that Tsunoda isn't, great start. Great start to Daniel Ricciardo's return. You know, yeah, he's probably going to end up 14th or 15th on the grid, but still, mate, it's a good start, that. I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen Ricciardo P20 and half a second off the pace. That wouldn't have been like, oh my God. I would have been like, he's got to get up to speed. Honestly, I was half expecting a Danny Rick P20 and half a second off the rest of the field. But the fact that he's into Q2, fair play. Fair play, mate. Still got it. Never lose it. Right, let's go for Q2 then. Big Shock is still on. What did you say? Oh, yeah, Danny Rick in top 10. Hey, nah. If Danny Rick gets through to Q3, mate, I will be scrambled. That will be mega job. Russell is a sacrificing lamb for Ricciardo. I'll take it. I quite like George Russell, but I'll take that. There's got to be sacrifices in life. I'm sorry, George. It ain't your weekend. Hey, at least Perez is still going. Flipping it. Perez has been knocked out in Q1 every single week for the past couple of months. Perez still in is a big dub, innit? No, it's got to be... Listen, it's got to be a sensible qualifying session for Sergio Perez. He can't get knocked out here. He's got to at least get through to top 10. And he's got to get top 5, Perez. Alfa Romeo new power units. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that's it. Fresh power units. Maybe everyone else has done 6 or 7 races. New power unit. No, it's not really about straight line speed round here, though, is it? It's more about how much downforce you can bolt onto your car, really. Medium speed corners. So, I don't really know. Maybe it's just that Alpha are quite handy on the hard tyres compared to the rest of the field. I don't know, mate, but I've not heard of Alfa Romeo bringing any upgrades specifically to this race. In fact, it's been Red Bull that have bought the upgrades to this race. They've got a whole new side pod design, and they've made that side pod inlet a little bit narrower, a little bit wider. If you're into that sort of thing, it's big news, you know. Imagine if Danny Rick, who knocks out Perez in Q2. Oh, mate, statement. I don't think Danny Rick's in with a shout at the Red Bull seat for next year, though, regardless of what he does, unless he's like wins a race. But I feel like Daniel Ricciardo could be in contention for 25, and that's the thing. Verstappen goes quickest then. So we're well into Q2 now. 10 minutes remain in Q2. We'll start to concentrate on the lap times, follow the session a little bit closer now. So yeah, Verstappen sets a 1:17.2 and goes quickest off the bat in Q2. If you are new to the stream, guys, please do subscribe. I'm live for every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 calendar, including tomorrow's race, of which we're about to set the grid for. And Daniel Ricciardo's still got a shot. Arsenal v Man United, a pre-season friendly thing. Yeah, I'll be watching that. Norris goes P2 in the McLaren. I'd love to have it confirmed that this McLaren pace that we saw in Silverstone is genuine. And I think Verstappen has had his lap deleted. Okay, interesting. Why? Oh, on the exit. Oh, just by a whisker. Verstappen on the exit of turn 5 goes a millimetre too wide outside the track limits. Oh, by an inch. And has his lap deleted. Ooh, the plot thickens at the Hungarian Grand Prix. The plot thickens. Verstappen, Stroll as well has had his lap time deleted. So it's McLaren 1-2. Stop the count. McLaren 1-2. I take it. Verstappen P14. Let's go. Here we go for Hamilton P5 in the Mercedes. So Norris leads Piastri, Perez, Alonso, Hamilton, Zhou P6. Could Zhou throw an upset here? Can Zhou Guanyu throw an upset? Kick off 10 p.m. Yeah. We'll be all over that, innit, Gav? Stroll a 10th off in the middle sector. Obviously, Stroll under pressure with his lap time being deleted means he's down in P14 at the moment. Some 59.9 seconds off the pace. Just a little bit off. Here we go then. Stroll to the line and goes nowhere. Biggest anticlimax since the 2023 season. But yeah, it's still Norris and Piastri 1-2 in Q2. 7 minutes to go. And yeah, everyone on the medium tyres. I think it's something to say for this qualifying format. I reckon this is all right, you know. I think I'm liking this qualifying format of everyone on the same tyres. This isn't the worst thing to ever be introduced, is it, this? Ferrari could be in a bit of trouble. Ferrari seem a bit average, don't they? Ferrari have seemed a bit average throughout this whole weekend. And I think they'll be quite fortunate to get both cars through, won't they, Ferrari? They're not looking very comfortable. Yeah. What's going on with Ferrari? What's going on with Ferrari? Ferrari are in a little bit of no man's land this season, where it's very average season for Ferrari. This, isn't it? It's not. It's a weird one because it's not an absolute disaster where they're in the midfield fight. No, but they're nowhere near as competitive as they were last year. It's not good, man. It's tough times if you're a Ferrari fan, really. It's not filling you full of confidence, is it? 13th is disappointing. For who? Pierre Gasly! Gasly for pole. Let's go. Nah, I'll be real. Alpine ain't it. Nah, Alpine ain't it. I think with a chance of both Alpines being knocked out here. Where is Magnussen? So Magnussen down in P19. I tell you what, yeah. Nico Hülkenberg has absolutely slapped Kevin Magnussen this season. Nico Hülkenberg has been brilliant. It's always, when there's like a surprise with Haas, it's always Hülkenberg. This season, obviously, it's always Hülkenberg and never Magnussen this season. When you've got like a Haas top 6 or top 10, it's Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg's turned up, mate, and shown who is the leader of that team. I'm not wearing a Kevin Magnussen top. Nah. No, but you've got to be real, haven't you? You've got to be real, man. You've got to be real. Hulkenberg's done a really good job so far this season. And he surprised me. In fact, when Hulkenberg got announced, I was a bit like, why are you bringing Hulkenberg back? Give someone fresh a chance. But they proved me wrong, and he's proved me wrong. Hulkenberg's been brilliant. And he's up for getting into Q3 again. I feel like Hulkenberg was pretty good in Austria as well. Well, Verstappen under pressure with 3.5 minutes to go then in Q2 needs a lap, with his first one being deleted, and then he's been sat in the pits until now, 3.5 minutes. It's still a McLaren 1-2 in Q2. In the bottom 5 at the moment then is Bottas, Ricciardo, Gasly, Stroll and Verstappen. They are the ones under pressure. Need to improve. Max is looking good. Purple Sector 1 for the double world champion. And yeah, as long as he keeps it within track limits, he should be easily good enough to get through to Q3. If not, be quickest. Second at Monza. Let's change about not watching TV. They've made it so that Gav. They've made it so that in each qualifying session, you've got to use a specific set of tyres. So in Q1, you've got to use the hard tyres. In Q2, you've got to use the medium tyres. And in Q3, you've got to use the soft tyres. So whilst it does take out some of the strategy of like, oh, we might stick a set of soft tyres on at the end of the session and leapfrog, I feel like it's working out a little bit better than I anticipated. And it's showing that certain cars are stronger on certain tyres, and because everyone's on a level playing field, if your car's not so good on the hards, you might be knocked out in Q1. Or if your car's not so great on the mediums, whilst you would normally get through to Q3 by sticking a soft tyres on it, you now haven't got that choice. So you've got to run the mediums, and hence you'll be knocked out. So it's kind of playing to the different strengths and weaknesses of the different cars in a weird way, putting them all on a level playing field, and I kind of back it. I feel like it's throwing up a little bit of interest. Yeah. No one is safe. And I quite like that. So here comes Lance Stroll then, under pressure, a minute and a half to go, and needs to improve. He is P15, and last Verstappen, by the way, slotted into P2 with his lap. So Verstappen easily safe on a 1:17.5, 2 tenths off Lando Norris. McLaren are in the fight for pole. And that's really good. Stroll, not looking great. Where is Aston Martin's pace? I mean, we've got Alonso up in P5. The gap between Alonso and Stroll is just... not great, is it? 50 seconds to go in Q2. Stroll under big pressure. Into the final sector. Lance Stroll with 2 corners to go. He's got a bit of traffic. He's got a McLaren there on the inside. He's got a Red Bull trying to start its lap there, but gets out of the way. Stroll then into the final corner. Sits in P15 at the moment then. To the line. He needs to get through to Q3 here. Only P13. Lance Stroll is out. And his awful season continues as Hülkenberg goes P4 in the Haas. Wow, Daniel Ricciardo P11, that's a decent lap. He won't get through to Q3, but that's decent. Zhou Guanyu P6. Hülkenberg in the Haas, Zhou in the Alfa Romeo look to upset the big dogs as Hamilton goes P2 in the Mercedes. That's him safe. Sainz across the line in the Ferrari under pressure. Only P9. Ferrari in trouble here. Here comes Valtteri Bottas P4. Alfa Romeo are quick. You know. Ocon, Gasly across the line. Both Alpines are out. Well, depends. Ocon was pretty quick in sector 1. Nah, both Alpines are out. I was right. Why did I hesitate to be confident on that? Both Alpines are out. Done out here. Alpine ain't it, brev. Here comes Leclerc, P6, and Sainz is out. Both Alpines out. Sainz out. Ricciardo out. Mind you, Ricciardo out qualifying Stroll and Gasly is decent. And Gasly's lost his time. So Gasly time deleted. Not a good day for Alpine. And only one Ferrari through. Both Alfa Romeos into Q3. Both Alfa Romeos into Q3 at Hungary. Incredible. Both Alpines out. Ricciardo P13 at his comeback. Listen, he'll take that. That's all right. That's good. That's good. Tsunoda, what, 16th? Tsunoda 17th. Ricciardo 13th. Mate, solid, very solid performance from Daniel Ricciardo. McLaren in the fight for pole. Hamilton right at the death, within a tenth of Norris at the top. Verstappen 2 tenths. Bottas only 2 tenths off the quickest time in Q2. With Piastri, Leclerc. It's so competitive. The top 9 separated by less than 4 tenths. Alonso just scraping through in P10 in the Aston. Woo. Exactly, Ferrari in trouble. One of them out, one of them through. Wow. Probably just a new rule to stop the Red Bull dominate. Well, they've got to try, haven't they? My hair's a bit of a mess. Yeah, listen. Do you want a team? I actually, weirdly enough, I feel like Red Bull. I dare to say this, but is it slipping a little bit? It doesn't look as dominant as it did. It doesn't look as that's where I'll end that state. It doesn't look as dominant as it did. Listen, Verstappen will still probably slap it on pole, but are they starting to catch up a little bit? I mean, I hope and pray. Are people starting to catch up a little bit here? You know, no one wants to see, even the most hardcore Verstappen fan don't want to see Verstappen win by 40 seconds. Like, come on. Must even be boring for Verstappen fans. We want it. I feel like people are starting to close a little bit. But big ups to Hülkenberg and Alfa Romeo upsetting the form book. McLaren in the fight for pole. This season has come alive. Let's disregard the first 9 races. This season started at the British Grand Prix. Can we start from 0 now? I reckon we'd have a good season, right? If we start from 0 points from before the British Grand Prix, right? So the first 9 races are disregarded, right? And we started from 0 at the British Grand Prix, and we went to Abu Dhabi. I reckon we'd have a great season. Verstappen still win the championship. I reckon we could be in for a good second half of the season here. Please. No, it's looking good, man. Seriously, McLaren's upgrade. I struggle to find a comparison for the size of the step McLaren have taken with this upgrade. It's massive. It's the biggest leap of performance from one race to another. I can't remember a team coming with a more impressive upgrade where one weekend they're outside the top 10 and the weekend after they're on the front row of the grid. When that just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. McLaren on a voodoo. They must have sold the soul to the devil. They've found like a second. Like legit, man. The step that McLaren have taken this season from, let's say, the first 7 or 8 races to British Grand Prix and now, I've never seen a team take such a leap. They've leapfrogged, honest to God, yeah, they've leapfrogged about 5 teams. They've stuck an upgrade on the car and leapfrogged half the field, mate. What have they done? What kind of voodoo shit have they put on the car, mate? You've gone from the 6th fastest team to the 2nd fastest team in a weekend. Are you mad? Are you mad? Norris for pole? Norris for pole? McLaren has stole Mercedes' engine. Yeah. I don't even know, mate. McLaren, the McLaren upgrade is the best I've ever seen. Best I've ever seen, mate. If this form is anything to go by, I mean, 2nd and 3rd at the British Grand Prix. And the thing is, right, I was so pessimistic. I was like, right, they're going to start 2nd and 3rd. I was like, they'll probably finish 7th and 8th. Mate, they looked good for 2nd and 3rd until the safety car come out. Like, they were genuinely quick. And they're looking genuinely quick here. I mean, you could argue 2009. I mean, McLaren come on a storm in 2009, I think, at the beginning of the... But to have to go back 15 years to think of it's a bit mad. Piastri can trash talk Alpine. Well, without a doubt, innit? I wasn't sure about that. At the start of the season, I was like, Piastri's chosen the wrong team here. But now... McLaren are the bigger outfit, aren't they, overall, you know? I mean, in general, are you going to pick McLaren or Alpine? Even if you take away, like, recent form, I feel like McLaren have just bigger long-term potential. I don't know, it's just a bigger... I know Alpine is Renault, but I feel like McLaren have got more potential in the long run somehow. So... yeah, Piastri pulled a madness, but he's done the right thing. McLaren have got that heritage, you know. Exactly, Alonso. And at the time, when Alonso left Alpine for Aston Martin, it was a massive head scrambler. But I do back myself, and I do remember saying at the time, it must mean that Aston Martin have built a quick car for this year, and so it's proved to be. Yeah, they're not quite on it at the minute, but it's still a good move, isn't it? Right, it's a fantastic move. He got like 5 or 6 podiums in the first 7 races, so unbelievable. Right, here we go for Q3 then. That's enough waffling on and bridging the gap between sessions. Not the easiest thing to do, but action back underway. Right, come on, guys. Predictions for pole. I want to see predictions for pole. Let's go. I want to see some Zhou Guan Yu in there. I want to see some Nico Hulkenberg support. What are we saying for pole? What do you reckon, SHT? What are you saying, Gav? Same as Williams with the heritage, so it's hard to see them struggling. Could change again, exactly. Everyone on the soft tyre, mind you. I mean, in Q3 is soft tyre anyway, isn't it? So Q3 is Q3. Max pole easy. Nah, what you say? What you talking about? Max pole easy. Get it, Evie. Yeah, Max will probably pull out of the bag at the end, but I hope it's close. It's going to be Verstappen on soft, mate. You know it. Nah, no clue, mate. Nah. Max, never heard of him. Right, come on. Different teams were good in different tyres. Do you know what? I've thoroughly enjoyed Q1 and Q2 here. Because it really has mixed it up. Because under normal circumstances, under normal qualifying circumstances, would we have both Alfa Romeos in Q3? No. No, we wouldn't. Would we have a cheeky Hulkenberg? Maybe. Would we have a Ferrari out? Probably not. I think this has shaken it up a little bit, and I back it. Oh, listen, if there's an Alfa Romeo in the top 4, can you imagine, like, Zhou Guan Yu, like, lap from the gods, like, bang! Oh, I'd love it. Perez purple middle sector and goes P1. 17-1 is the early benchmark in Q3. This is the battle for pole position. Hamilton pole incoming. I'd love to see that. Yeah, man. The only disappointing outcome for me here is Verstappen pole. Anyone else on pole, I'm like, get in, what a lap. Verstappen on pole, it's like, who comes second? But that's not anti-Verstappen, that's anti-domination. I ain't about a domination thing round here, mate. Nah. Norris, 2.5 tenths quicker than Perez. Go on, Lando. Hey, McLaren. Big up McLaren, mate. Big up McLaren. Alonso goes 17 flat in the Aston Martin. Zhou 17.5. Bottas 17.1. That's actually quick from Bottas. Bottas nearly as quick as Perez in the Red Bull. What is this? What is this madness? Lando flying. Mitch, McLaren flying in general. Since arriving at the British Grand Prix 10 days ago, McLaren have been on a different planet, mate. Here comes Verstappen. Come on, Lewis, beat him. Come on, Lewis. Bang, P2. A 16.6 is a good lap, innit? Suede on a Verstappen one. Suede, you're not Glory Hunter, are you? God damn, Brev. Nah, it's fine. It's calm. That's just first runs in Q3, innit? That's all right, mate. But this looks pretty good. I love good drivers, innit? Yeah, man. It is what it is, innit? You're not going to support. You don't support a guy in P20. I get you. I get you, bro. I get you. It's pain. I supported Mick Schumacher last season. Pain, bro. I was celebrating P16s going, get in, not last. Yeah, being a Mick Schumacher fan was heavy settings, bro. You're better off supporting Max. It's easy dubs, innit? I think you will see that eventually in endurance, yeah. You'll see that eventually. Max will want to branch out and, yeah. So with 6 minutes to go in Q3, then it's Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Alonso, Perez, Leclerc, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Piastri, Zhou. So Hamilton only a tenth and a half behind Verstappen for pole. Norris only 3/10 off. Alonso in the Aston predicted he'd be strong, looking good, only 4/10 off. Perez over half a second off his teammate, down in P5. Leclerc half a second off it with Bottas. Leclerc and Bottas with virtually exactly the same time. Works Ferrari, same speed as Alfa Romeo. What the hell? Hulkenberg, 7/10 off in P8. Piastri, not a great lap there, 8/10 off. And Zhou a full second off in P10. Come on, Zhou. Yeah, Alonso with a good first lap. I think he'd be happy with that. Listen, P4, he'd take that right now. Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, top 3. But close. Hamilton only a 10th away. He can do this. Lewis can do this. Oh, did it? That explains it. That explains it. If Zhou's time got deleted, that explains it. 5 minutes to go in Q3. There's going to be one more run. One more run in Q3, guys, for pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let me just check something real quick. Norris for pole, I'll say. I'd love to see Norris slap it on pole, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow about 1:30. Race starts at 2 p.m. So join me for the 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix tomorrow. Yeah, but 1:30. This is UK time, by the way. Yeah, race starts 2 p.m. As far as I know, that's accurate. That's what the F1 website's saying, anyway. Yeah, 2 p.m. race. So it'll be like about 1:30. Do a bit of a pre-race, sort of a bit of a build-up, and we'll get into it. Who's going to be on pole? What is the top 10 saying? With 3 minutes to go, and everyone is about to head out for the final lap of qualifying. This is the pole position shootout at Hungary. I think it's a 3-horse race, really. I think Verstappen, Hamilton, and Norris have all got a decent chance of pole position. Anybody else, it'll be a big shock. If Perez is on pole, big shock. Leclerc, obviously Bottas, and all that. But I feel like it's 3. There's 3. Alonso pole is a long shot. The Alonso pole would be incredible, but I feel like it's a long shot. But I feel like Norris and Hamilton are genuinely in the fight with Verstappen here. Hamilton and Norris are genuinely in the fight with Verstappen here for pole position. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm told. This is it, mate. So far, spot on with your prediction. What did you say? I'll scroll up in the chat. Let me have a look. I'll go back in the chat. I'll have a look for you. What did you say? Oh, you said Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton. Yeah, mate. Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton is a dub prediction, mate. I reckon you might be bang on. Would you say Aston Martin have gone backwards? I would, In general, I mean, Alonso is historically strong at this circuit, so Alonso might buck the recent trend. But I feel like, in general, Aston Martin are being leapfrogged. Ferrari are bringing massive upgrades. McLaren have leapfrogged everybody. Mercedes are making big upgrades. And Aston Martin, I don't know, man. No news. You get left behind if you're not bringing big upgrades to your car. You soon get left behind, and I feel like Aston Martin have just dropped off it a little bit. But anyway, here we go then. The fight for pole position. Charles Leclerc is on his final flying lap with a minute to go in Q3. Here we go then. The battle for pole in Hungary is on. Go on, Charles. Oh, he's just about in track limits there on the exit of turn 5 into the chicane. Nice flowing circuit. This, I do like this circuit. Oh, he's aggressive on the turning. Look at the turning. I feel like the car is like set up for understeer. He's like a 90-degree angle on the steering wheel. He's just like chucking it in. Here we go into the final sector with Charles Leclerc. Then he's green sector 1 and 2, so he's improving. It's a purple middle sector for Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. 25 seconds to go in Q3. Here comes Charles Leclerc then round the final corner. What can he do in the Ferrari? The only Ferrari in Q3, and goes P4 at the moment. So it's P4 at best for Charles Leclerc, and that's before everyone else has set their lap times. Here comes Verstappen with his final attempt then. Does he improve? No. So Verstappen with the 16.612 is the benchmark. Verstappen doesn't improve, is on pole for now. Here comes Fernando Alonso then in the Aston Martin. What can he do? P5 only for Fernando Alonso. At best, remember, at best P5. Piastri out qualifies. McLaren on fire. Go on, Lando. Lando P2. Lando P2. He's so close as well. It's within a 10th. Zhou goes 5th in the Alfa Romeo. Zhou's rapid. Bottas P7. Go on, Lewis. What can Lewis do? Go on, I'd love to see Lewis beat Max here. I'd love to see Lewis beat Max here. Norris is quick, man. Norris P2. Here comes Lewis. Come on, round the final corner. Come on, Lewis. To the line. Go on, Lewis. You can dethrone him. Come on, man. Yes, let's go. Lewis Hamilton. Pole position of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's go. Hamilton pole. 1:16.609. 3,000ths of a second. Let's go. 3,000ths of a second. This season is on. This season's been saved. Boom! Hamilton 16.609 beats Verstappen by 3,000ths of a second. Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris top 3. Piastri P4. Both McLarens in the top 4. Zhou Guanyu P5. What a grid! Boom! Let's go, Lewis. Big qualifying. By a million miles, the best qualifying session of the season so far. Get in there! Bang! Mercedes are back! Mercedes are back, baby! Suede, what are you saying? Max pole easy? Nah, brev. People are catching up. They've had half a season, piss easy, Red Bull. They've had half a season, piss easy, mate. People are starting to catch up. McLaren are on the tail. Mercedes on the tail. Let's go. This season is away. Hamilton pole. Bang, mate. Buzzing. Mega. Get in, Matty. Oh, mate, mega. What a grid. Hamilton, Verstappen. For once this season, I am not saying Verstappen again. For the first time, it feels like. I am saying somebody else. Verstappen beaten in Hungary on a Saturday. We've got 70 laps tomorrow. We've got 70 laps tomorrow, but I back the Hamilton pole, man. That's brilliant. And his best track statistically as well. The 8 wins. Made buzzing. Big ups to Lewis Hamilton. Pole position at the 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix. Mega. Verstappen will get loose in 3 laps. We get tomorrow at the... Listen, we get to tomorrow when we get to tomorrow. Let's enjoy the moment. Yeah, Lewis ain't keeping Max behind me for 70 laps. Are you mad, bro? Listen, you're going to celebrate at the time, you know. We get to tomorrow, don't we? You know, we get to tomorrow. We enjoy the moment. It's Hamilton on pole. Let's have it. That was so close as well. 3,000th. The closest top 10. The closest top 10 in Formula 1 history. Yeah, look at that. Norris within a 10th as well. The top 3 within a 10th. And the top 9 within half a second. Yeah, mega. Perez P9. What the hell, mate? How is Perez being out-qualified by Bottas? How the fuck? How are both Alfa Romeos out-qualified Perez and... Both Alfa Romeos have out-qualified a Red Bull. Zhou's out-qualified Leclerc. What is that about? How is Zhou quicker than Leclerc? Or if you want to be fancy, Leclerc. Charles Leclerc. Bollocks that I say Charles Leclerc, but Charles Leclerc. How is Zhou Guan Yu out-qualified an Aston Martin, a Red Bull, and a Ferrari, and a Mercedes? Fucking mega. They'll take each other off in the first corner. Now that will be something to watch. Hey, listen. Join me tomorrow. Please do drop a like on the stream if you have enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this qualifying session. I knew it'd be good because it didn't look like a Red Bull domination setting today. Tomorrow's a different story, but it just looked really competitive. And indeed it was. Within a 10th, the top 3. Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris. Both McLarens in the top 4. Zhou Guan Yu P5. Imagine he gets a rocket start tomorrow. But yeah, big ups, guys. Please do drop me a like. I'll be back tomorrow about 1:30ish. Race starts about 2. So do a bit of a pre-race ting. And then we'll get on with it. But yeah, join me tomorrow. 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix. Going to be big, man. Hamilton on pole. When was the last time Hamilton was on pole? Mate, 2021. Max pace is incomparable. Well, at least someone else's name sits atop of the timing board for once this season. Somebody else sits atop a timing board this season. My God, it has been a long time coming. Nah, Norris didn't get pole. He's still Verstappen pole. But Norris led a couple of laps, didn't he? But led 5 laps. But yeah, lasted 5 laps. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope Hamilton can hold him, have a good start, hold him off. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the qualifying session. Right, that's it, guys. Thank you for everyone who has joined. Please subscribe if you're into Formula 1. I'm back tomorrow about 1:30 for the 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton on pole. I have not said that probably since I've been doing this channel. And that's mad considering he has 104 pole positions. But yeah, I feel like I've not said that ever. So Arsenal say, you mean United today? United today, Swede. It's United today. I don't know who you're playing. Some North London crap team. Right. See you tomorrow. for the Hungarian Grand Prix about 1:30. Starts at 2 p.m. Peace out, guys. Lewis Hamilton on pole position ahead of Verstappen, Norris, Piastri. Show top 5. Cheers, peace. See you tomorrow.